All right, then now the issue of foreign exchange scarcity and the impact on the naira is actually a multifaceted challenge. Perhaps this is why the CBN has been issuing a series of measures to address the liquidity challenge in the market. Well, I am being joined now by the national president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Mr. Aminu Gwadabe, via phone to talk more around this. Mr. Gwadabe is joining us from Abuja. Thank you so much for your time. It's good to have you on the program.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tolu. Good afternoon, Nigerians, and I apologize for the poor network connectivity.
All right, thank you so much. Now, can you give us insights into this new regulatory measure, of course, including the revocation of over 4,000 BDC licenses? What does this mean for your operations?
Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to at least express our view. In line with the regulations of the stated framework, the draft framework, the central bank has issued the draft framework last week, Monday, and the deadline was this week, Monday. Part of the reforms, you see, the central bank has been taking a lot of reforms. As an association, a regulated association, it's the duty of the Central Bank of Nigeria over time, regulations have been coming out that our appreciation goes to the present central bank management, because this is the first time that we issue a draft for stakeholders, for the public to also add their input. So we can see a considerable shift in management leadership style in terms of collaboration. We thank them for that. The reforms, yes, it has been happening. Even the central bank is part of reforms. In the 1950s, we used to have even Naira and Kobo until when the central bank was established, so as to make sure that there is compliance, there is orderliness. So it has also happened in the banking industry. It has also happened in the microfinance bank, in the stock exchange. So we cannot be an exception in terms of reforms. We have reviewed the various clauses of the reform, and then we have made our submissions in areas of capitalization, that's financial requirements. We give a global view because the draft reform is asking of 2 billion naira capitalization for tier 1, and then 500 million for tier 2. And then you have the mandatory caution deposit of 50 million for tier 1, and then 200 million for tier 1 and 50 million for tier 2. Then in terms of classification, like I said, you have tier 1, tier 2. These are the classifications, these are the financial requirements. In terms of classification, considering the recent revocation, we have even advised, like what is obtainable in Tanzania. We should borrow the Tanzanian concept, where they have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And then, apart from that, we share global statistics. In UK, for instance, you need £50,000 to own a license. £50,000 even at the willing buyer, willing seller rate is translates to about 100 million naira. In Kenya, it's $50,000 at 1.5, about INU window ordination rate. Sorry for using the old concept of INU window ordination rate. You take $50,000 in Kenya capitalization, it will come to about 75 million. We also look at India. We look at where BDCs are active, where they are vehicle of foreign exchange market. We look at India. India capitalization is about $67,000. And then also lastly, Tanzania. Tanzania is where you have 3 categories of licenses. You have the foreign license, which are coming to the economy to play and compete with the local players. The foreign ones are coming with $400,000 licenses. And then the local ones are doing $200,000 capitalization. So the tier 3 that we have also advised in our own system, they are doing $80,000. So even if towards scenario, we are using $400,000 at 1,500 national rate, capitalization of that will be about 600 million. So globally, having these 4 jurisdictions, there is no place the capitalization is even up to 1 billion. Then coming to mandatory deposit, the BDCs are just matching transactions. They are not deposit taker. We don't take deposit from the public. We use our own money to go and buy our dollars. So it's an aberration. It's not anywhere in the world whereby BDCs are compulsory made to pay compulsory deposit. Our worry here is if you allow that, we can understand the kind of unearned income that is chasing Naira. We can understand a lot of process of corruption that is chasing Naira and then also creating the volatility. But experience has shown us in 2007, 2009, thereabout, the central bank introduced same categorization of category A and category category B, whereby category A was made to have a capitalization of 500 million and a compulsory deposit of $200,000, while the category B were on that 5 million thereabout, and then with a $20,000 compulsory deposit. What was intended to achieve, in fact, it was not successful because the central bank had to come and abruptly reverse that categorization because what was the order of the day, the big guys come and hijack the system, come and hijack the sector, and leave those that have experience, that build capacity, they have investment, and almost go ground zero. So I think this is a very, very good experience that we use in doing this categorization. So in that, we appeal to the central bank that what happened in 2006 in terms of consolidation, whereby the existing banks were given the grandfather's right so that they are the only one to at least come together for the credible opportunity the reform provided. The reform has provided credible opportunity for capitalization and ownership consolidation. So the really change should be the existing one should be given that grandfather's right. And while we are doing that, there should be no any new license that should be issued. This is to avoid the big boys, the money back that will come and hijack the sector from those that have put investment capacity, skills over the years. And those are the ones that employ people. It has unemployment consequences, insecurity consequences. So I all have to look at. Nigeria, yes, we want to follow models of the advanced country. But even the advanced country where we are following their models, they are their own norms. They are their own norms, and culture that we call today global practices. So it's good when we are doing our own policies too, we should look at our own norms, our culture, so that we can incorporate them. It's not necessarily that all the foreign, advanced models that we just take and put on our head without considering their implications. So that is that about the financial requirements. We also see whereby the issue of existing bureau de change shareholder is not having an opportunity to be part of the new reform. We have raised that so that it should be, with that clause, we see it like our fear of saying, is it the intention of the central bank to make the existing bureau de change, irrelevant? Because if presently, as a shareholder of a bureau de change, a clause in that framework is saying that you are not eligible to be part of the new scheme, then automatically the existing structures are meant to be redundant. So we have pointed a lot of submissions, a lot of where we think even the 10,000 declaration of sources from our willing seller we believe that that is not the obligation of the Bureau de Change. The AML CFT obligation of the Bureau de Change is to take KYC, and then if there is render CTR, their threshold for individual about 5 million and company about 10 million. These are the threshold of cash transactions.
No.
Yes, by today's rate, the threshold of 10,000 is more than 5 million for individual and more than 10 million. So what you need to do is to send cash transaction report. Where you suspect the transaction, you send suspicion transaction report. So those are also other areas we will look. So going to the revocation of license, that is a bad news, especially for me. It's demoralized me because losing 4,100 children of your children is not an easy stuff to handle. However, like I said, the CBN have justified the reason why they have revoked 4,100 licenses in line with non-payment of licensing renewal. Every BDC is expected to pay 250,000 naira annually as its renewal licenses. Also, they have made mention of infraction or non-compliance and return rendition to Trade and Exchange Department. These returns are daily and monthly. It involves templates, that is 301, 302, 202, and 217. This gives the information of the customer, give the information of the balances you have at hand, give the information of the type of document you collected from the customer, give information of the exchange rate you sell, like that. And those returns are in daily and monthly. There's also what we call the return to financial policy, office, other financial institution department. These returns are two in nature. There is one that is monthly asset and liabilities return, and then there is the audited account, which is yearly. So,
now, Alhaji, allow me to interject you now, because you've given detailed implication of all of this to the BDCs. But before you continue, I want to ask that many have talked about manipulation and speculation in the market, and some have said that some BDCs may be contributing to this. I'd like you to also react to this and what you are doing to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, we'll continue to engage and explain our own point. Unfortunately, we are an ant. So at any given time, you find the media, the regulators, the security agencies, instead of holding the ant, they will come after holding the elephant, they will come after the ant. We are the soft spot. It's just like in terrorism attack, you see, instead of going to attack the high, you come and be attacking the mosques and the churches. So because we are the soft spot. When it comes to analyzing volatility in the market, in fact, it's even the Bureau de Change that have been helping the system to ensure that that volatility is minimized or removed or, killed completely. I will give you trajectories. But what we see, there are factors behind volatility. There are people, there are international investors or international traders. That's also the regulatory policy. People, in terms of when people lost confidence in their own currencies, many Nigerians have lost confidence. In fact, to the extent that every Nigerian is also a foreign exchange trader. Most of them in crypto platforms. Statistics have shown that there are about 12 million Nigerians in crypto platforms, and is growing at an average of 9% annually. So tell me, how many Bureau de Change, even the licensed one that you have? We are talking about 5,600. Then when there is any kind of blame shift, people find it easier to say it's the Bureau de Change that they are causing it. And like I told you, how people are hoarding, there is the elephant in the house. The elephant in the house is the proceeds of unearned income. Naira is the value not because of the demand of dollar. We have the legitimate demand of dollar. How much is the legitimate demand of dollar? But the volatility or the exchange rate have not any economic fundamental to back it up. There is a lot of profit of unearned income that is pursuing the naira. And that's why we continue to see depreciation. There's a lot of naira in circulation, which is giving pressure under the naira. There are a lot of combination of factors to stop that. We have seen how the government is tough, took a tough stance on Binance with even penalty of $10 billion. We have seen how the government roll out a lot of circulars. And in terms of this volatility, my own opinion, the bank should be the first line of defense. Why I say this is because a day to the civil circular of free willing buyer, willing seller, nothing was doing 900 and something. The following day that circular was released, the nation moved from 900 to 1,600. A movement of about $700 just in a day. It has never happened before in the history of this country. And nobody is looking at that angle. But we are looking at the angle of is Bureau change, just for the purpose of stigmatization, for the purpose of generalization, of criminalization. So, like I said, we are regulated people. We cannot go against the Central Bank of Nigeria. But our appeal is that this revocation of 4,000 have consequences. And we're appealing to the Central Bank, to the federal government. Let's look at it again. Let's have a holding action. Now that there is even categorization, we can replace them as POS agents are doing. Already the renewal reform have given opportunity for freelancers and what have you. So people need to eat. People need to pay school fees. So we should look at all these unintended consequences. Even the revocation, we are so lucky to have seen the mere announcement of the statement of the Bureau de Change back to the intervention of the central bank, to have dropped from almost 1,950 to 1,400. That is a great fiat by the Bureau de Change. We have done it in 2006, we have done it in 2016, we have done it in 2019, and recently in 2024. A mere announcement by the central bank that they are going to reinstate the Bureau de Change. The naira appreciated with about 400 to 500 naira. And currently, this is the scenario. As BDC are getting involved into the system, we have stemmed the volatility. The Bureau de Change are the third leg of the market, even of the national market. The concept of liberalization and deepening of the market in 2006 by the then governor, Professor Charles Solido, he incorporated the Bureau de Change to be the third leg of the market. Where the volatility is most pervasive is in the retail end of the market. And this is where you have legitimate demand. This is where you have a traveler that he wants to go. This is where you have a parent that wants to pay school fees. This is where you have somebody that's having mortgage to pay. These are legitimate payments. And that is how he brought the scope for Bureau de Change to manage that. We are not competing. We are only playing a complementary services. You see, in other clients, you want to do $500, $200. The banks will not entertain you. They will point at you, they will point to it a Bureau de Change that you should go there and do your businesses with them. So the banks, they are wholesale, if I call them, bigger guys. So they should concentrate. Why the retail end of $500, $1,000, $2,000 should be given to the Bureau de Change so that there will be liquidity. The implication of withdrawing the Bureau de Change in 2021, even the parallel market was 500 naira to $1. That was the beginning of the volatility we have till today, because that denied liquidity into the retail end of the market, whereby we have seen dollar almost hitting to 2,000 naira to $1. So these are some of the things that we really need to look at. The BDC as a men that play a very, very important role in terms of managing the exchange rate volatility. And also, the BDC gives the effective transmission mechanism of the foreign exchange, the central bank foreign exchange policy. For instance, now, if the central bank wants to increase interest rate, they go through the bank and increase interest rate. The bank will be the one to raise their own interest rate as a transmission mechanism agent of the central bank policy. The same thing, the BDC are playing that role of transmission mechanism of the central bank foreign exchange policy. In fact, they are doing it more than any other sector that is regulated by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So we need their support, we need their cooperation, we need to work together, and I can show you one hanging fruit that this country, up till now, we have not even exploited, we have not harnessed, is the diaspora remittances. So now that the new regime, the new framework is going to give this opportunity to the upcoming Bureau de change, I think soon it's not Naira that is going to be in trouble, the dollar is going to be in trouble.
And when we come, yes, I'm with you, Alhaji. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Please don't go away, Alhaji. Thank you. Viewers, we'll be right back. Glad to have you back. I still have Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, who's the president of the Bureau de Change, Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, speaking to us about the FX issue and challenges we face as a country. Now, Alhaji, my next question really would be, beyond regulations, what additional measures do you believe are necessary to address the underlying cause of FX scarcity in our country, Nigeria?
You have statistics to make policies. I have said that, looking at norms and culture of the society before you come out with policies. Also, there's another misnomer. If you look at the interest rate variation, inflation rate, the bag of rice 2 years ago also was how much? Not more than 25,000. And today, the bag of rice is about 90,000. But our inflation rate is 30%. So you see there is a misnomer between the determination of interest rates and also the exchange rate. Because the depreciation of the value of Naira due to the high inflation rate have made people not to keep their savings, not to keep their investment in Naira. They are hedging into dollars. So we need to put structures there in terms of monetary measures. There is also alignment of the fiscal and monetary policy. There is lack of effective linkages between the monetary and fiscal policy. There should be harmonization, there should be collaboration. Then also, don't forget, Nigeria is an import-dependent economy, also a monocultural economy. All our needs are imported. Also, we only have one major product or item of export, which is the crude oil. Our export contribution, agricultural export, non-oil export contribution is very, very abysmal. We are talking of 1.2% to GDP. And then we are saying we want Naira to be strong. So also there is issue of infrastructure. You can agree with me that Nigeria needs over $500 billion to meet up the infrastructure in terms of road, electricity. So those are some of the things that, as a quick fix, we have to look into them and also give confidence. Use measures that will give confidence. Use Bureau de change to end the confidence of the market.
Very, very touching one there. Well, looking ahead now, before I let you go now, what role do you see BDCs playing in Nigeria's FX market totally under this new regulatory environment?
Like I said, it provided a credible opportunity for consolidation, and for capitalization and ownership consolidation. It also provided opportunity for other bigger sources. Now you can buy from NAFEM, you can be an agent at MTSO. The BDCs, I have said it in my earlier statement, we are the third leg of the market. I've shown how various measures consider the Bureau de change to reduce or to kill or to cancel volatility. We have done that. So in India, for instance, the BDC are being leveraged to generate diaspora remittance of over $30 billion, which is used for infrastructure. In other clients, the profit of international profit is being securitized and bringing into the economy through the Bureau de change. And then it helps in reducing volatility. It gives government flexibility to ensure that also there is peace, there is calmness. Also, the
BDC pay their taxes, and then they make employment. So there are a lot of impact that the BDC are doing to the economy. It's not a one thing, it's not only peculiar to Nigeria. There is nowhere in the world you can go, you will not see a BDC operation. We agreed the challenges of central bank to manage over 5,000 euro the change. But we are providing solutions. They should allow us willing to come and put our house together, to come and consolidate our capitalization and ownership. So this is the way to go.
To be done. I must thank you so much, Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, President, National Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your day.